Hey folks, Jeff here. Welcome back to the Newman Beings channel, my vlog dedicated to conscious evolution. Today I'm gonna expand a little bit on what I spoke about in my last video about the law of attraction, and I wanted to discuss something that really sets apart someone who kind of just uses the law of attraction here and there from someone who is a consistent creator of their own reality. First off, I'd like to explain why I kind of don't even really like using the term law of attraction. To me, it kind of sounds like this thing that's out there and it's really cool, but it's just this thing. You can use it or not use it, it doesn't matter. To me anyways, it kind of brings up this association with like just another self-help strategy. Like it can be helpful, you just have to put in a little bit of time and effort, but ultimately it's not really necessary, and you could go your whole life without even participating in it. As if it was only relevant to people who chose to involve themselves with it. I don't know, it could just be me, but I kind of feel like the term law of attraction has become this sort of just trendy term that's thrown around by people who may believe in it but don't fully understand its ramifications. I personally like to refer to it as creation or manifestation. Because here's the thing, to truly actually believe that the law of attraction is real is to take on a whole new perception of reality. And if you practice manifestation through the law of attraction, but you never take on this new perception of reality at some point, then you're actually always just going to be kind of half-assing it, and you're never going to truly tap into your power of manifestation. When people are first introduced to the law of attraction, assuming that they accept it as reality, they don't pass it off as BS, they take it and they believe it, but they don't really fully believe it on a deeper level, which is understandable because most of our beliefs are deep-seated in our subconscious mind, and they're the result of years and years of programming and conditioning. So when someone first starts using the law of attraction, it's safe to assume that there's this sort of conflict between conscious and subconscious mind. Kind of like when you first start a diet, your conscious mind could be saying, "Don't you dare touch that ice cream," but then your subconscious conditioned mind is like, it'll be fine. This is kind of what I spoke about in my previous video, so I'm not going to go into it too much here. Suffice to say that many people get turned on by this idea of the ability to manifest their desires, but they soon default back to their normal way of thinking that tells them that certain things that they want are extremely difficult, if not impossible, to get. When I first started looking into the law of attraction, reading up on it, I started practicing what I'd learned, and for a while I did this as a daily routine. Yet as time went by, and even as I researched more and read up more on it, I realized it wasn't working for me consistently. I was able to manifest things, little things here and there, like parking spot. I actually got pretty good at manifesting parking spots, which was awesome because I lived in LA at the time, and if you live in LA, you know what I'm talking about. But my manifestation was not consistent. And most importantly, I just wasn't seeing the major things that I was trying to attract into my life. So as a result, as more time passed, I eventually just fell out of the habit of trying to invoke it every day. After that point, I would use it here and there when there was something I felt like I really wanted, but never really consistently produced results. So fast forward a few years, I don't remember exactly what sparked it, but I think I was reading another book about the law of attraction, or I might have been reading Conversations with God, but I realized something years later, and that was, as long as I perceived myself to be subject to or victim of all the circumstances in my life, I was actually living in contradiction with the law of attraction. Now, this had been something that I had read about in books before, and I think they even spoke about it briefly in The Secret, but it wasn't until a few years after being introduced to the law of attraction that I actually internalized this and started choosing to see my life in a different way. So since then, I've been looking at my relationship with reality in a way that is basically the opposite of the normal understanding of our reality. Well, for the most part anyway. I'm not claiming to be 100% consistent with this all the time, but I do my best. So what is this inverted opposite way of looking at reality? Take a look at my super duper high-tech diagram here. This is the normal, or what I call inward perception of reality. In this perception, the things in our world and in our lives happen beyond our control, and we're all subject to the random. Things outside of us come into our lives or happen to us, and that is what determines our state of mind and thereby our quality of life. So, when something good happens, we're happy. If something bad happens, we get sad or mad. I like to refer to this as the leaf in the wind lifestyle, because when your state of mind is subject to every little thing that occurs, you basically have no control. Yes, there are things you can control, but even your best efforts are subject to chance in this sort of chaotic world. This is actually a victim mentality. This inward perception is actually normal. That is to say, it's the most common way for people to perceive their reality. But it is something that one must overcome if they want significant change in their life. I challenge you to find one very successful person who believes that they are not in control of their life. So to truly believe in the law of attraction, or in your ability to manifest, is to understand that you're actually responsible for everything that shows up in your life in one way or another. And it sounds kind of harsh at first, but as long as you can't accept this responsibility, you can't be a fully conscious and consistent creator of your reality. Now let's take a look at something that I call the outward perception. So here's another sweet diagram illustrating the outward perception of reality. And as opposed to the inward perception where things outside of you happen to you, outward perception means you view yourself as the source of all things in your life. You are the source in this case, and your state of mind and feelings send vibrations outward into the universe. And so the world you see is an effect of your state of being. That means every tree, every car, every person you come across is like a TV show being broadcast by your consciousness. So what was seen as the cause and what was seen as the effect in your life are actually inverted. Rather than circumstances in the outside world causing you to suffer or causing you to be happy or causing you to feel whatever, your state of mind and your feeling, your state of being, I should say, is the cause, and the events in your life are the effect. You can kind of think of it like dropping a stone in a lake and watching all those circular ripples move outward from the center of impact. What's the cause? The place where the stone hit the water is the source, and the ripples moving outwards are the effect. When you see yourself as the source of everything happening in your life, you know that circumstances come and go, and you're actually free to change them. So, as a result, you don't really worry about them so much. Now, the wind can blow in whatever direction, but you aren't being tossed around like a leaf. When you see the world around you as the physical manifestation of your own mental and emotional activity, two things happen. A, you lose the victim mentality that comes with feeling subject to every little random circumstance in your life. And B, you begin to feel this actual intense freedom, the freedom of having control over everything in your life. Now, both of these effects will not only give you a sense of liberation, but will boost your manifestation power significantly. Now, I know this all is easier said than done. I know not everyone is ready to take on a whole new perception of reality. It seems like a really tall order. But if you are willing to take that step, if you are someone who believes firmly in the law of attraction, and you do want to become a more consistent creator of your own reality, then this is what I suggest you do. First, make the decision. Just like when you're choosing something that you want to manifest into your life, you want to come to a very concise decision and declare it with confidence and clarity to sort of put it out there into the universe. Next thing is just start practicing seeing the world and the events around you as the effect of your consciousness. So just make it a practice that as often as you can remember, just pause for a moment and look take a moment to look at everything around you and kind of soak it in. Don't judge the things you see, but just observe your surroundings objectively. Don't bring logic or reason into this. Just try to be as present as you can in the moment and really just soak in everything that's going on around you. And then just imagine, use your imagination, that everything you see is actually your own creation. And this may seem really hard at first, so one tip I can give you is to pretend that you're dreaming. And that'll help because when you're recalling a dream, when you're remembering a dream that you've had, as opposed to when you were actually dreaming, you look at it in your mind and you realize that you were actually creating everything in that dream. The people, the sounds, the sights, the scenery, everything that was going on was actually coming from you. It was a part of your consciousness. So I recommend that you use this practice in addition to your visualization exercises when you're trying to manifest something. And like I said, it sounds like such a tall order, but here's the thing. If you have the imagination to visualize the things that you want to attract in your life, and if you have the focus to do that despite what you're seeing currently in your life, then you already have the imagination and the focus to do this exercise daily, to just start seeing the world as an effect of your consciousness. And obviously, changing the way you see something is basically reprogramming subconscious perceptions, so it will take some time and consistency on your part. And don't worry if you're not consistent at first. Don't worry if you keep forgetting to do it. Just do it as often as you remember. So like I said in my previous video, if you really want to improve your manifestation abilities, then it always helps to give yourself a self-assessment. How do you feel about the world that you live in? When you go out there into the world, do you feel like it's an unpredictable mess of unforeseeable events and everything that happens is just the result of random chance? Or do you truly believe in the law of attraction? Do you see the physical world as a reflection of your own inner mental and emotional activity? Do you see the world as this huge 3D tapestry that is your life and you are the artist? So just remember that to live with this sort of inward perception of reality, what I call being the leaf in the wind, is essentially to be a slave to everything that happens in your world, of which you seemingly have no control. And that is bondage. To live with the outward perception is to not be so affected when things aren't going your way, because you realize that these things will pass and that you actually have a choice to change them. And that is freedom. Well, I hope this video was a help for some of you conscious creators out there. If you have any questions about what I've said, feel free to leave me a comment. And also, as a weekly reminder, if you do want to subscribe to my channel or just like this video, it does just take a click of the mouse on your part, but it does quite a bit to help me and my channel and what I'm looking to achieve with it. So thanks again for giving this channel your time and your attention. Hope you all have a wonderful week. One love.